We are here today, another Cow Ranch Live video. Today we have our Nutrena professionals, our poultry professionals in the house. We have Jessica and Annie. They're going to be talking with us and teaching us about chickens and raising your chickens. Remember, if you are at home watching, please send in your questions and we will make sure to get them answered as we go through the video. With that said, Jessica and Annie, have at it.
Thank you. So once again, my name is Jessica, and this is my partner, Annie. Hello. We're here from Nutrena. So, little background history for us. So, we acquired the Nutrena brand in 1921. So, we've kind of been around a while. Poultry feed was one of our first feeds that we came out with. So, been around a while. I always like to kind of break the ice with these, so we're kind of going to start off with some fun facts. So, there are more chickens on this earth than there are people. And to me, that's a little intimidating. Like, we're going to be taken over by the chickens any minute now, right? 3 billion chickens. Chickens have 30 distinct vocalizations that they have studied. One thing for predators, as your chickens get older, the noise that they make from a predator coming from the air is different from a predator coming from the ground. So, kind of cool. And then quick trivia for a free bag coupon. Everybody likes free bags of feed. Yes, definitely. The chicken is the closest living relative to what dinosaur? Shout it out.
Velociraptor.
Free bag for your new chicken owners. I promise it doesn't fly. Which is even strange.
No any dinosaurs?
No any dinosaurs?
Pterodactyl?
It doesn't fly. I can give you a hint.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
There you go.
There you go.
Tyrannosaurus. T-Rex. There's your free bag. Yeah, isn't that kind of crazy though to think like the chicken is so small and a T-Rex is so large that they're actually related. So starting off on the right foot. You're getting chickens because you want to have your own fresh eggs, correct? Okay. I was talking with this couple earlier. They are doing meat birds. Okay. So we kind of want to start off on the right foot and get you guys the right breeds to help you be successful. So for your egg layers, a lot of them are more smaller bodied than your bigger dual-purpose birds. They start laying about 20 weeks. They can lay about 20 to 23 dozen in the first year of eggs. Like, that's a lot. Molt, we'll talk about later. And an example of that is the white Leghorn. So Cow Ranch usually carries white Leghorns. Meat birds, right? So you guys are going to do some meat birds. This is something that when you go into Cow Ranch to get your chicks, you don't want to take home to your flock. Their lifespan is around 8 weeks. They go from hatch to butcher in about 8 weeks. So they're definitely not built to last much longer after that. And the most popular one is the Cornish. And then dual-purpose birds, so maybe, after they get done laying and you want to use them for meat, there's a couple of breeds out there that you can also use. Rhode Island Reds are pretty popular. So this is your equipment list, okay? And I know I've seen some in the store over there that you guys have to hand out. But number one thing is when you come into Cow Ranch, you want healthy chicks, right? So when you walk up to the brooders, you want to pick the chicks to take home that are up, they're moving around, they're socializing, they're eating, they're drinking, okay? You don't want to pick the one that is in the corner by himself with his beak down. Most likely he probably doesn't feel very well, and chances of him making it are maybe slim, okay? So the next thing, you're gonna need a brooder. So what you see in Cow Ranch that they're in is considered a brooder. Some people use stock tanks, the Rubbermaid plastic waters. Some people use cardboard. If a cardboard box, if that's what you're going to use, just be very mindful of your heat lamps and stuff. You don't want to start a fire. And then you're going to need a litter. So at Cow Ranch, they sell pine shavings. Works the best. You can use newspapers if you want. Just be mindful that they will peck at them and they'll probably eat some of it. You don't want to use cedar shavings because they have a toxicity, in them that can be fatal to them. Then you're going to need a feeder and waterer. I recommend you get the small size at first, and then you can, as they grow, you can also grow with that. Then you're going to need feed. So Cow Ranch has a huge selection of feeds, okay? And then this is pretty important. So it's the best thing to do is, avoid small children handling them and you guys handling them. Yes, you're going to have to handle them to clean their brooder and stuff, but for the first little while, it's important to kind of just let them go. Reason being, I said a little earlier, they are very fragile during this time. So you may not feel sick, but you might have some sort of virus inside that you could pass on to them. Keep in mind too, when you are handling them, wash your hands first and then wash them after. Okay, yes?
What about salmonella from chickens?
Yep. Right. Yep, so salmonella is pretty big with chickens as well. It can be in their eggs, so just something that we just really want to avoid if we can.
So it's not on the live chicken itself? Can you transfer from handling it?
You can.
Oh, you can?
I do believe, yes.
So wash before, wash after, keep things clean. Clean means no germs.
Yes. Yes. Do you have a question? Ooh, we're going to talk about that one in just a second.
We're going to
I'll
give you
tell
a
you
tip.
why. Okay?
Yeah.
So how do you know there's salmonella in an egg? Did I understand that right?
Yeah, so like in the summertime especially, which we'll talk about later, about gathering your eggs daily. And if you can't get out there during the morning hours and it's been, I don't know how hot it gets up here, but if it's been at least 100 degrees, it gets a little dicey. So we'll talk about that a little later. So I recommend that you get everything set up and ready to go before you come to the store and buy your chicks. The objectives during this time is to keep them warm, okay? So when you come in and buy them, make sure that you go straight home afterwards, okay? Don't go to the mill, don't go out to lunch, okay? They really need to be under their heat lamps during the first few weeks of life. This is pretty important. This will also grow as they grow, so 1 square foot per chicken. When they get full grown, they need 4 square feet, okay? Chickens, yes, they're social, but if they're crammed in there, you're going to have a lot of in-house drama, okay? So just keep that in mind when you're, if you're going to build a coop or buy one. Let's see. So I know that Cal Ranch, before they get their chicks, they set all their heat lamps up 24 hours, turn them on, just so it gets nice and warm in the brooder. 250 watt infrared heat lamp. I use a red heat lamp for my chickens. You don't have to. I always recommend though,
Psych for those
Makes it fun.
And it's really nice now, like the second lamp, always get 2, because about 10 o'clock on Saturday night, your lamp goes out and everything's closed and then your chicks can get cold. They sell them in a 2-pack now. I recommend getting that one. Don't get the single one, have the 2-pack, be prepared. If you switch one out, go get another one. Always have a backup.
For sure.
Yeah.
Never fails. So the recommended temperature is around 90 to 95 degrees. That is also going to decrease weekly as they grow, and I have a chart I'll show you in just a second. And then your heat lamps, about 18 to 20 inches away from them to start off, okay? Your chicks are going to tell you if they're cold or hot, but just keep in mind too, fire hazards with heat lamps and stuff, okay?
Jessica,
So, yes.
we have a question from Facebook. I think you may have answered that, but Susan asks, when can they be without a light on?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we were actually just going to get to that, but it's usually around 7 weeks once they're fully feathered, and they need to be acclimated to the outside temperature. So, okay. But we'll talk a little, talk a little more about that in just a second. So 1 gallon water per 25 chicks, right? Electrolytes. So Cal Ranch puts electrolytes in their water when they first get here. That's kind of what they look like. You can put them in there for after you take them home for a couple days, maybe a week or so. I give my adult birds electrolytes twice a year. Or if I notice if one is feeling a little unthrifty and she's not up socializing, it never hurts just to give them a little extra.
This is not going to hurt your, it's never a too much or, just kind of just like people.
Yeah.
Always nice to have. Keep on hand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let me see here. So keep it clean, right? Keep your waters and your feeders full at all times. And then you'll notice in Cal Ranch they do this. So with their water, they'll usually put it on like a little 2x4 to help raise it. Only reason being it kind of cuts down on the mess in the brooders for them to clean. So if you think about it, don't do this with your banties because they're too small. But the feeders need to be and the waters need to be about the height of their back. So then that just helps them not kick as many shavings in there and whatnot.
Or how you go and look and you see they all run and they all jump in the water, jump in the feed.
Yes,
And
they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. So this diagram, like I said, your chicks are going to tell you if they're hot or cold. So this one right here means that the heat lamp is too low in the brooder and it's too hot for them.
So this is you're looking over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this would be your lamp and your chicks.
Yep. So your chicks are moving out around the heat. They're trying to move away from it, okay? This one over here means that your heat lamp is too high and that it's too cold. So everybody's huddled next to their friend. They're trying to stay warm. Problem with that is if you have a lot of birds in your brooder, somebody's going to be on the bottom. Somebody can get hurt, okay? This is something that you usually see in stores. Like if you walk past the brooder really fast, you scare them. If you're seeing this at home, just maybe check for a draft. You know, maybe you startle them, okay? And then this one right there is perfect. They're up, moving around, socializing, eating, drinking. So this is an actual picture I took in one of my accounts. Number one, that's a lot of chicks in there. Usually there's not that many. But they did everything right. They had 2 heat lamps for the amount of chicks that they have in there, right? But the problem is that the light was pointed in the same direction, okay? So I moved the heat lamp down and came back an hour later. Perfect. Everybody's up, moving around, socializing, okay? Questions so far? Let me know if I get rolling. I tend to whip through these. So this is a really good chart for you guys. If you want afterwards, you can come up and take a picture of it. We'll come back to this. The heat needs to go down about 5 degrees every week, okay? Until about week 7, and by that time they should be acclimated to outside temperatures. Hopefully winter is going to move on, but we don't really know. So just keep in mind.
Yeah, and the easy way to do that is just move your heat lamp up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how you would adjust the temperature.
Yep. Yeah. So scatter some feed on a paper plate if you want to when you get them home, but when you get them home, put the water in there first, don't put the feed in there. I know the stores do this when they first come in, okay? Take their beaks and dip them in the water just a couple times so that they get used to where the water is and that they know where to find it. I usually ask the stores and stuff to hold off on putting the feed in there for about 4 hours or so. And then after 4 hours, you can put it back in there. Meat birds, so for you guys over there, they have to go on a diet after 3 days of life because, number one, they will eat you out of house and home, and they grow
like teenage boys.
really, really fast. Yes, so they grow really, really fast. So we usually recommend about 6 to 12 hours. So if you get up to go to work in the morning, you can put it in there. Then when you get home from work, you can take it out. Okay. Once again, keep them clean. And then, important right here, so the first 6 weeks of life are critical. A lot of the times, in your guys' case, something went wrong. They're just very fragile during this time, so it's just, we got to do our best to keep them comfortable and get over that 6 weeks of life. So this is a cool little diagram too, you guys can take a picture of. This is just a little chick timeline. So 5 to 6 weeks, you can move them into a bigger box. They may still need light during this time depending on if they're fully feathered. 7 to 10, if you have an existing flock, so you guys said you had older birds, right? So this is when you can introduce them into your new flock. We'll talk about how to safely do that as well, so we don't have any in-house drama. And 16 weeks, so switch them over to a layer. So they're going to start off on a chick starter, then you're going to have to switch them over to a 16% layer. So easiest way for me to remember it, the rule of 16. At 16 weeks, switch them to a 16% layer. The 16% is on the bag, and all it is the protein level, okay? And then 16 to 24 weeks, you can expect eggs. So anytime around that, it can be before, sometimes it's after, okay?